Wir haben die Epos-Kirche infiltriert, hatten eine kleine Auseinandersetzung mit dem Wachmann, den wir getäuscht haben. Und jetzt geht es weiter in geheimer Mission. Wir wollen herausfinden, was Lennart für Dreck am Stecken hat und was die Epos hier verheimlicht. Weiter geht's mit Whispers of a Machine. Willkommen zurück mit mir, dem Eli, und unserer Hauptdarstellerin Vera. Weiter geht's.
Six new members over the last month. The Bacarbo parish is also doing better now.
They managed to resolve their financial difficulties?
Oh yes, Elsa is doing great work there. Sending her on our behalf was the right call. That brings us to the subject of these horrid murders.
Vile acts, for certain. I pray that the church will stay clear of any blame.
Why shouldn't it? We had nothing to do with those atrocities.
I know that, old friend. But surely our enemies will not ignore an opportunity like this.
I suppose so. Our violent past coming back to haunt us.
Sadly, the fact that one of our people was victimized will inevitably draw eyes upon the church.
Yes, maybe it's in our best interest to invite the police as a gesture of good faith.
It would certainly show them that we have nothing to hide.
Very well. Let's bring the subject to a vote at the council tonight.
Das ist doch der Raucher, oder?
At the very least, it seems like the church leadership didn't sanction the murders. I'll wait a bit and see if they leave.
Okay. Das ist doch der Raucher gewesen, den wir oben in der Kantine getroffen haben. Der gehört also zu der Kirche, okay? Ist nicht, also die klang jetzt nicht so. Warum sollten sie denn jetzt hier nicht... Ich meine, sie wissen ja nicht, dass sie da ist. Wenn es gut könnte sein, dass sie schon wissen, dass sie da war und deswegen einen Quatsch erzählt haben. Aber das scheint ja eher so, als hätten sie tatsächlich keine Ahnung davon. Sie wissen zwar von den Morden, aber sie wollen mit der Polizei zusammenarbeiten, weil sie glauben, dass sie nichts zu verbergen haben.
Administrative paperwork. I don't think it's safe to go back that way. Wow, that's a lot of books. They have an impressive library here. Wow, that's a lot of...
Welcome, visitor.
Oh,
Special Agent, Violent Crimes Central Bureau.
Oh, it's you again. The man from the train.
Natürlich, der ist es.
I never forget a face, but I'm afraid I didn't catch your name.
It's Agent England.
Ah, I am Vilgund. I assume you are aware of our legal status.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not here to cause any trouble. Just trying to do my job.
Why would you cause trouble? That sounds quite unnecessary.
Well, if, let's say, you were sheltering a murderer, I would have no choice.
Good thing there are no murderers here, then, for all parties involved.
Yeah. I overheard what you said to that priest. It's clear to me that you had nothing to do with the killings.
That's a relief. With that unpleasantry taken care of, perhaps I can be of assistance.
Okay, das ist der Typ aus dem Zug, ganz am Anfang. Stimmt, der war das. Es war nicht der Raucher. Den Raucher haben wir auch nur einmal gesehen, ne? Wenn er schon mal hier ist. Fahren wir mal zur Epos-Kirche.
This church, Epos, what are your teachings?
At our core, we are an Orthodox Christian church. We believe in the one true God and His only Son, Jesus Christ.
And what sets your group apart from other Christians?
Two things. The reverence of the essential humanity in each and every one of us, and our stalwart opposition to false idols. Prior to the collapse, the great flood of our time, we arose as a reaction to the disgraceful habits of that era. the widespread worship of anything and everything but God. Wealth, fame, mindless pleasure. The sickening mutilation of our bodies to the point where some were more machine than human. And the worst of all, the pursuit of AI superintelligences. False gods that humans aspired to construct for themselves. We oppose it all for the glory of our Creator and the salvation in our future.
And how do you go about preventing people from worshipping these false gods?
Not by violence, if that's what you're implying. Such things belong to the past.
So it's just a coincidence that the only armed man I've seen in Nordsund was right behind your doors?
Sadly, the world is still in a state where men with guns are a necessary evil. However, no laws have been broken. We have every right to bear arms.
Soll ich gleich mal auf den Punkt kommen? Frag ihn mal nach Leonard.
So Leonard Dahl, one of your members, was killed yesterday.
I had a feeling your inquiry would lead us to him.
Can you think of anyone who would want him dead?
No. He was a loyal member of the church for many years. Kind of a loner, but always helpful and polite. He did have a strangeness to him, though. A look in his eyes like he was stuck in perpetual contemplation. It seemed as if he was constantly on the verge of, but never quite able to reach, some sort of profound revelation.
Any hint of a violent side to him?
No. To my knowledge, Leonard never committed any violence, nor did he express any desire to do so.
Do you know who Leonard Dahl's brother is?
I believe his name is Rolf. Quite a shady character, if you ask me.
Oh, the gardener, right?
Yes, that's him.
Aha! Das ist also sein Bruder, okay. Rolf Dahl. Kann er das Buch zitieren?
Do you know what kinds of books Leonard liked to read?
One book he borrowed frequently was The Kingdom of God is Within You. In fact, it still hasn't been returned. It should be among his estate.
Would you be able to say if he had any favorite quotes from that book?
No, you should ask someone who spent more time with him.
Fine, I'll do that. What kind of book is it anyway?
It's about non-violence, to summarize.
Got it. Thanks. What can you tell me about Rolf?
Not my favorite person. He mocked the Lord when I first met him, and I don't take kindly to that sort of behavior.
Okay, der ist also nicht sehr gläubig, der Rolf. Kann ihr mir ein bisschen was über das Konnektiv
What's your
sagen?
take on the conduit?
Oh, those heretics? Haven't heard anything of them in many years. As far as I know, they are firmly confined to the ash heap of history by now.
Some might argue with that. Your church has a violent past with them, hasn't it?
There's no denying that. We fought many battles with their kind in the youth of our movement.
And now?
Don't be absurd. They are practically eradicated, and we have been a peaceful group for decades.
What do you think about their teachings then?
Certainly dangerous doctrines if left unchecked. The conduit believes humans will create God in their image, instead of the other way around. In their folly, they forget that humans are flawed, and that their creations will inevitably inherit those flaws. The false God they aspire to create may demand sacrifices they're not prepared for.
Die haben schon Angst vor dieser KI, ne? Die glauben, dass es nicht der richtige Weg ist für die Menschheit. Kann man auch verstehen. Ich fand diesen einen Satz gerade, den er gesagt hat, ganz interessant. Was ja so eigentlich auch stimmt. Menschen sind halt fehlerhaft und es könnte sein, dass wir die Fehler, die wir besitzen, auf unsere Schöpfer oder auf unsere Kreation übertragen. Das könnte ja die KI sein, dass die halt die Fehler, die wir besitzen, adaptiert und könnte schon passieren, oder? Wenn wir nicht aufpassen. Mal angenommen. Ich frage ihn mal nach dem Morden.
What do you know about the murder in the workshop hall?
Not much at all. Only that a carpenter was brutally killed there in the night.
What do you know about the murder in the museum?
Only what my fellow church members have told me. That Maya Strand was stabbed to death by a mysterious killer.
What do you know about Carl Oscarson?
I must confess I didn't even know his name before I heard he was a murder victim.
What do you think of Gabriel?
Kurt's nephew. We only met briefly a few times.
Do you know who Katerina Berg is, the school teacher? She also calls herself Melinda.
I believe I've seen her around town with the school children, but I don't know much about her.
What do you think of Commissary Anderson?
He's no member of the church, but he's a fine man blessed with strong Christian morals. Compassionate, forgiving, and open-minded. I was good friends with his late father, and I'm glad to see that his son followed in his footsteps.
What's your opinion on Stina Ruth?
Cunning woman, that one. And she's been a thorn in our side ever since she joined the town council.
Yeah? How so?
She has a penchant for political obstruction. Things like hindering our building permits or imposing unreasonable restrictions on our street preaching.
Why do you think she's been acting that way?
If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say she has some kind of grudge. Some Christian out there must have greatly angered her at some point.
Interessant, da steckt vielleicht ein bisschen mehr dahinter.
What's your opinion on Maya Strand?
She was my polar opposite in almost every way. But I enjoyed the occasional late-night chess game with her in the canteen. It's fascinating how trivial activities like board games can bring such different people together. Goes without saying that I was as shocked and appalled as anyone when I learned of what happened to her.
Er wusste also nicht, dass sie an diesem Konnektiv war. Okay.
What's your opinion on Dr. Pearson?
He and I have quite different takes on life and death, to put it lightly. But alas, a man of my age needs to see a physician regularly to keep the Grim Reaper at bay. So I grit my teeth and endure half an hour of his morbid humor for the sake of my health.
What do you think of Walter?
I don't know him well, but he seems like the kind of man who plays the part of the clown to hide a deep wound.
That's all, for now.
Understood. I'll be here if you have more inquiries.
Moment, wenn du hier bist, kann ich Ihnen das noch zeigen?
Recognize this?
I do. Read it even many years ago.
Know thy enemy?
Something like that.
Do you recognize this woman?
I do. That's one of the teachers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much sums up what I know about her.
I don't think he'd be interested in that. I'll keep it to myself. I don't want the church to know too much about the case.
Klingt logisch. Ja, dann haben wir jetzt alles, oder?
The passage led back here. Good. Since I left the door unlocked behind me, I'll be able to come back the same way.
Das ist die Kirche, okay. Also was haben wir erfahren? Wir müssen mit Rolf reden. Was ist das, was wir erfahren haben? Schrottteile. Wir müssen das Zitat rausfinden. Vielleicht können wir ja in die Wohnung von Rolf. Okay, jetzt wird's lustig.
Hello, Ralph.
Hey, look, I'm pretty busy here. Not really a good time to talk.
This can't wait. You heard about your brother, right?
It's a small town, what do you think?
Sorry about your loss, but I really need to ask you some questions.
Fine.
What can you tell me about yourself, Rolf?
I'm not in the mood for small talk. Ask your questions so I can get back to work.
What kind of relationship did you have with your brother?
The sibling kind. We weren't enemies, if that's what you're asking. The rest is really none of your business.
Okay, der ist ganz schön feindselig.
I'm sorry, Rolf, but I have to ask you about your brother's death.
I know, and I wish I had something to give you, but I don't know what happened.
So you have no idea who'd want to kill Leonard?
It's gotta be the nutjob who killed those other people, right?
It's possible, but far from certain. When was the last time you talked to your brother?
A week and a half ago, or so.
Okay, how did he seem? What did you two discuss?
He was his usual self, but what we talked about is private.
Look, every little detail matters. What he said could be the key to finding his killer.
I'm not gonna betray his trust. If you want to arrest me, go ahead. But that's all I'm gonna say.
Ich habe einen
That's
Fehler
it,
gemacht.
for now.
Good.
Hey, I had a few more inquiries.
Fine.
I'm sorry, Rolf, but I have to ask you about your brother's death.
I know, and I wish I had something to give you, but I don't know what happened.
So you have no idea who'd want to kill Leonard?
It's gotta be the nutjob who killed those other people, right?
It's possible, but far from certain. When was the last time you talked to your brother?
A week and a half ago, or so.
Okay, how did he seem? What did you two discuss?
He was his usual self, but what we talked about is private.
Look, every little detail matters. What he said could be the key to finding his killer.
I'm not gonna betray his trust. If you want to arrest me, go ahead. But that's all I'm gonna say.
What can you tell me about the Church of Epos? I know for a fact that your brother was a member.
So? That's not a crime.
Come on, Rolf, work with me. Don't you want me to catch your brother's killer?
Yes, he was a member, but I'm not. I spent 10 years trying to get him out of that place.
Why would you do that?
Because he changed. He became this sullen, slow, serious, fucking block of a person. He used to be so full of life, you know? I know he died just yesterday, but the Leonard I grew up with, he's been dead for a long time.
Boah, harte
I
Worte.
understand, Rolf. Thanks for sharing. No, I don't want to tip him off before I figured out the exact quote. What do you know about the conduit?
You know I'm a gardener, not an electrician, right?
That's not... Never mind. I should keep this to myself, or he might figure out that I'm not the person Leonard wanted to have the evidence.
Ich habe eine Idee.
I don't need to make him forget anything. That's it, for now.
Good.
I don't need to make him forget anything. I don't see what I have to gain by disguising myself as her in this place. The weapon that killed Carl and Maya. Likely Leonard, too. Do you recognize this?
No. Looks like any other knife to me. Why? That a murder weapon or something?
I can't give any more details. Sorry.
Die wohl schon niemand erkannt hätte.
What do you know about the conduit?
You know I'm...
That's not... Hey, I had a...
Fine.
Do you know who Katarina Berg is, the school teacher? She also calls herself Melinda.
Sure, I've seen her around, but that's pretty much it.
Wie kriege ich denn das alles aus ihm raus?
What do you think of Walter?
He's kind of alone, isn't he? And coming from me, that's saying a lot.
That's it, for now.
Good.
Apparently Leonard Dahl liked a certain book quote. I should try to find out what it is.
Ich muss zum Recycling Center zurück. Das ist jetzt erstmal das Ziel, weil wahrscheinlich sind da noch die Bücher. Sieht aber aus, als würde eins fehlen.
There it is, the book from the library. Got it.
Okay, sein Lieblingszitat.
The Kingdom of God is Within You by Leo Tolstoy. This looks ancient, pre-collapse for sure. A number of pages are marked in the margins, likely to easily find them. Even if one of the marked pages contains the quote I need, there's too much text. I'll need more to go on. Maybe someone who had regular contact with Leonard would know the quote if they saw it.
Oh. Jetzt ist mal nochmal mit Rolf sprechen.
I should keep this to myself, or he might figure out that I'm not the person Leonard wanted to have the evidence. The Kingdom of God is Within You by Leo Tolstoy. A number of pages are marked in the margins, likely to easily find them. Even if one of the marked pages contains the quote I need, there's too much text. I'll need more to go on. Maybe someone who had regular contact with Leonard would know the quote if they saw it.
Ja, er stand doch... Na gut, er stand nicht so häufig in Kontakt mit ihm. Eigentlich der Arbeiter, oder? Eigentlich ist es der Arbeiter. Aber der ist ja nicht hier. Oder ich muss zu Epos gehen. Das wäre auch noch eine Möglichkeit. Aber eigentlich müsste es der Arbeiter sein. Ja.
Hey, I got something to show you.
Okay.
Have a look at these marked pages. Does anything remind you of things Leonard used to say?
Give me a minute, will you?
Sure.
Here. The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity. Leonard used to say that whenever I was late for work.
Perfect. Thanks.
No problem.
Der einzige Sinn des Lebens. Okay.
I should repeat this quote to Leonard's brother.
Bevor wir das machen, würde ich sagen, sehen wir uns zur nächsten Folge wieder. Ich mache einen Cut und dann werden wir mal Lennarts Bruder Rolf damit konfrontieren mit dem Zitat. Mal gucken, was wir aus ihm noch rausbekommen. Dieses kleine Geheimnis, was er hütet, dieses private Gespräch. Vielleicht war Lennart in schwierigen Angelegenheiten verstrickt. Mal gucken. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschö.